Let's say one morning you woke up without one of your senses. Which sense would you want it to be?
Probably touch.
You need touch.
You couldn't walk.
So you're saying I can't walk without touching things? I can't just use my muscles to push me up regardless if I can feel it or not?
Have you ever tried to walk with your legs asleep?
I mean, it's not comfortable. I've done it before.
You can't walk with your legs asleep, really. Like, that doesn't work.
Let me Google. Let me pull out my
I think
resource.
for me, it's definitely smell.
Yeah, I definitely do smell.
It just says it makes it difficult, but it's not that you can't. If it's numbness, which I would assume is what you're losing, that sense is just everything's numb, so you don't really...
So how would you know if you're touching the floor? How would you know where to move your legs if you couldn't feel touch? And also, why is touch the one you volunteer? You don't want to be like, you don't want to feel like the warm embrace of a hug anymore?
No, I don't really hug people in general. Sorry, but I'm fine with that. You know, for me,
That's
just
right. I
seems-
guess you don't have sex either, huh?
God, what the fuck?
You got it. You know what?
Motherfucker said, I'm not going to miss anything.
You would never know if you were erect.
I'm John,
I'm Alfonso.
I'm Darren.
and welcome to the Scat Cast. We don't know either. So I was looking... This is kind of random. I was looking at videos of fucking like tardigrades and shit recently. First off, they're cool as fuck to learn about.
They
The
are.
fact that they don't die and shit. Like, I don't know. It was basically just going into all that information
They
on
can
there.
survive in space, dude. That's fucking insane.
Yeah. So basically they kind of freeze themselves.
Yeah, they
in
shrivel
place.
up.
Yeah, they shrivel up and they literally die and then they just resurrect themselves.
Yeah, they
later
wait for
on.
water or some type of like, and
Yeah.
they I forget what the term is called in science, but they wait for their environment to tell them that it's okay to come out.
And scientists are trying to like see if that's applicable anywhere else. And they put like the gene that lets them do that into other animals or other organisms like bacteria and shit like that, and they were able to do it.
Oh,
They just made a fucking unstoppable strain of bacteria.
Yeah, imagine someone just like evil just does that shit to like coronavirus or something. Like, what the fuck do you do? I don't
Imagine
know.
you set that upon like a herd of cattle.
Just get them all mad cow disease
Well,
or
they're
some shit.
going to be like antibiotic resistant and they can just never die.
Oh yeah.
God.
Jesus
I feel
Christ.
that if we're ever gonna do like biowarfare, like World War Z, you would have to like merge whatever like flesh-eating bacteria with the tardigrade DNA because it's virtually unkillable
Yeah.
at that point.
God.
Like fire doesn't work. You can't shoot
Undying,
into space.
necrotizing fasciitis.
Yeah.
Literally, like
go hard.
space, fire, a neutron star. These motherfuckers are coming back with a vengeance.
But I was thinking, right?
Yes.
Can you
So-
burn them?
No.
Like you can't autoclave a tardigrade?
I don't think so.
I know they can do super cold. They might die in heat. I have to fact check.
I think they can handle super high temperatures, but I don't know like what the cutoff is.
I mean, yeah,
for
because
them.
anything like you throw anything to the sun, it's kind
Yeah.
of lost. But like, I know, like, isn't space absolute zero?
No.
Or like close to it?
No.
I thought space was like super fucking cold, like close to
It is cold, but it's not absolute zero.
It's way colder than absolute zero.
Oh, it's colder than, but they
Yeah.
can survive in space, so they can survive past absolute
It's not
zero.
colder than absolute zero.
It's not.
No.
It's like 0 degrees.
There is like no point that we've actually seen. Like absolute zero is a hypothetical.
It's a theory, right?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
hypothetical.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was just talking about 0 degrees Celsius.
No, I meant like
No,
absolute.
absolute zero is like
Okay.
negative 273.
Okay.
But anyways, what I was thinking, like, so you know, like sometimes you think about it, like, oh, like, what would an ant be like if it was the size of like a fucking bear?
Yeah.
You know, like what would a tardigrade be like if it was like the size of an actual bear instead of a fucking water bear or some shit? I was thinking about this. I was trying to decide to myself, like, is there any animal that would actually be worse if it was the other way around and it was smaller?
Bears. If bears had the same strength with the size of an ant, they'd be fucking unstoppable. They have like
It wouldn't be the
polar
same
bears in
strength,
particular.
though.
If no, ants are 50 times their strength. So is it like 50 to 100? Whatever. Ants are like super strong for their size. So if you compare that to a bear's the size of an ant. It has the same like gouging. They could just go inside people and they would just eat you from the inside out like parasites. But it would just be a bear, like a polar bear with the same.
Well, it's based on their body weight,
I
though.
don't think they would have the same strength.
Yeah, it's
I
not
think
like
they would though.
they're not fucking Ant-Man.
They still
like,
have the claws. They still have everything. Oh, and like if you're
Are
comparing
you
them
going
to
to keep
ants,
their density?
yes,
Like they're gonna have the same
bears,
muscle
but
density.
they're ant size.
Well, in that case, I think any fucking animal will be terrifying. Jesus.
Oh yeah, they're ant-sized bears. Like that's fucking frightening.
I don't think them being the size of an ant alone would probably be like that bad. I don't know.
Okay, a cat-sized bear.
That's just like a bear cub. I don't know. I don't
No,
think
it's like
that
an
bad.
adult bear, but it's like cat size. Like it has the full like stamina, claws.
It's like a small dog.
Yeah, but it's bear. So it has like it's basically an armored dog.
You mean a fat dog?
No. Bear's skin. Works
We
like
used to
armor.
own one of those.
No. Bear skins work like armor more than like other. Like it's good at stopping.
I can still
bullets.
punt it.
You're going to punt a thing that's going to grab your leg and
It's the
just
size
gnaw
of a small dog.
No, it's like a medium-sized
curb
dog.
stomp that
like a
bitch.
little, like a.
And you think that'd be worse than a full-size bear?
I'm saying, you're saying worse than the actual?
Yes, like worse.
Oh,
than
I
the
thought you were just saying
full-size
what's
thing,
like
yeah.
another thing that would be hard to deal with if
No,
it was
no, no, no,
small.
no, no, no.
Oh, you meant like a worse?
I'm trying to think of something that would actively be worse if it's smaller.
Oh, jellyfish, like a box jellyfish. It'd be harder to see, harder to catch, and it would still kill you all the same.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Anything that's like super poisonous or
Basically,
something,
like,
maybe.
Snakes, poison dart frogs, certain types of
Actually, yeah,
bugs.
snakes would be so terrifying if they were smaller.
Yeah, like they were worm-sized snakes, and you didn't,
Ugh,
you couldn't
fuck,
tell the
ew.
difference.
Yeah.
Like you just like accidentally like put your hand on a rock, and there's just a black mamba right there, and it just.
Yeah.
But would that also weaken
Ugh.
no? Because venom would be about the same. Because
There would just be less venom, but I think it's still like potent in that like those
Yeah.
really small microdoses.
Yeah, it is. It would actually just be like the perfect dose each time.
Mm-hmm.
And also going back to the space thing, space is like 2.7 Kelvin. It's basically space is almost absolute zero, but it's not absolute zero. But
Yeah.
it's like the closest thing we have to absolute
Well,
zero.
the main thing, like, heat from the sun travels through radiation. So a lot of the times, if you're like in direct,
You'd still get burned. but it
yeah, like
wouldn't be from
if you're
heat.
in direct view of the sun, you're still gonna feel the heat of the sun.
I was saying like in a pocket of space because most of space is empty.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like, if you just drop someone and like,
But that's what I'm saying. Like outside, you feel the heat from the sun. You will still feel that heat if you're out in space.
but as you're freezing, that's such a weird like. Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool though.
So let's say hypothetically, right? You had like, I guess let's just say like since you brought it up, bears and ants, right?
Mm-hmm.
One day you wake up and they've all switched sizes. All the bears are the size of ants, and all the ants are the
You know,
size of
you know
bears.
how many ants are on Earth?
Yes.
We'd all die.
What is your survival plan?
Bug spray.
Not even just
Would
bug
that
spray. I would actually try to kill an ant and steal his pheromones and then just blend in. Because there's
That's
no
actually smart.
You
There's
would
no
just like
way.
wear the ant.
Yeah, I would just wear the ant. No,
That's what they do in The Walking Dead with the fucking zombies.
No,
and
because
shit, too.
there's like trillions of ants and like let's just say like a small like mile like out of trillions. I'm just guesstimating, but there's more ants to people. That's what I'm saying. So they all just started becoming bear sized. That means like our Earth just got way more crowded, and they
Yeah.
are super fucking
Imagine
territorial.
them building an anthill.
Yeah.
It'd be like the Burj Khalifa on steroids.
They would
Like
just take over cities.
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I would probably kill an ant if I could manage to do that because they're pretty armored, and then I would wear its skin and smell like it. But then I would have to stay with those ants because they're hella racist. So like if I see
Yeah.
like a
Dude,
black
imagine the
ant,
amount of wars that would break out on Earth.
Yeah.
no, they'll actually go fucking crazy because oh my god, we army ants in Africa they'll just win everything. They're the most brutal ants, but they're stuck in Africa.
Well, there's
Yeah.
well, they also wage war on each other though, so there would just be never-ending conflict on Earth.
yes.
Well, also there's like those ants that can like that all die and build a raft and shit like that.
Yeah, I was like, they could cross
do that
oceans.
to cross the oceans. Like
There
that,
are
yeah.
ants. I was watching a video about this earlier too. There were ants that have like glands on their sides and they like kill themselves. They explode. They're suicide bomber ants. And they
no
release like a toxin.
fucking way. So like,
Yeah.
there's actual. Imagine like World War Z, but with ants. So why has Hollywood not written this movie yet? That would actually fucking fire because you have like so many different types of ants. You have
Ants-mageddon.
flying ants. You would have to kill all the queens.
I was gonna say I think my plan would be I volunteer myself as a virgin tribute for the queen.
You would be a concubine.
Yes.
I would join the fucking Helldivers and stomp the bugs.
Based.
I don't know. I would welcome our new ant overlords personally. I
I don't know if you want some
I
antussy
fight
though.
for freedom and liberty.
I don't. Do you
And bug
really want to
spray.
be like balls deep in a thorax? That doesn't sound very. That doesn't sound very appealing.
whatever it takes to survive.
I'm dressing up in their skin. I'm Hannibal Lectering these motherfuckers. You're just like, I became one with the ants.
Imagine
But we
like
just offer them a place on Mars.
They probably take it.
Imagine like Mars being taken over by ants.
okay, but imagine in like Invincible where like Omni-Man has like that baby with that ant lady. That would be me.
Wait, no. Wouldn't their lifespan still be the same though?
What?
Because the lifespans didn't change. They're just bigger now, right?
Their lifespans would probably be shorter, if anything.
Yeah, because the bigger you are, the more resources you take.
Yeah.
Actually, it would probably just be so weird just looking at like millions, trillions of ant corpses just littering
Can
the
ants
streets.
cannibalize?
Yes.
Yeah, they can cannibalize.
Yeah, they'd be fine.
But it's just so many dead bodies everywhere.
They would eat it.
I don't know if they would eat the dead ones, but like the living ones, yeah. But I don't know
If they're
they-
decomposing, maybe not. But
Yeah, I was saying like, at a
I think
certain
they would.
point-
I don't know why they wouldn't.
I know they're like good for
I mean,
like
bacteria,
walking through the
but-
dirt. Do ants eat dead bodies? Because that's actually I know.
I mean,
worms
it's not
do.
decomposing. I mean, we eat dead bodies. What do you mean?
I mean, like I guess like more of like a
I didn't even think about that.
do ants eat dead ants?
Yeah,
Well, that's what I asked.
They
do they
do.
cannibalize?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They just take them away. That isn't. I mean, they can be,
They
but
bury their dead. Is there an ant
they
religion?
bury them. They bury them. They have funeral rituals. They
What?
If they're hungry, they'll feed on the carcasses. But usually they'll remove them, get them out of the colony. If they have diseases, they will bury them in an ant graveyard, or they'll do like a funeral ritual.
They have catacombs.
They'll like
probably.
clean the body or some shit like that, or they'll put food around it, like how we did in Egypt, like where we
Yeah,
give
so
the
they
pharaoh.
fucking
There's ant rituals.
They have
Yes.
catacombs. That's crazy.
what?
Yes, they have ants are they're like the second most like socially advanced species if I'm not wrong, besides us. Like when it comes to like setting up cities and networks and like communication and having like
That's
a
scary to
societal
think
hierarchy. Yeah, they're
I would
pretty
argue
fucking
they're more
organized.
effective than us because they can do that shit in like 2 days.
Yeah, but because they only have one. I mean, if the world was, like, this is gonna sound really scary for all you people out there, but if we were had that like one world government thing, it would basically be the same thing as an ant colony. Just one person making all decisions, we all just followed it out, just being complacent and compliant. Kind of like I don't know if I haven't read 1984. I just know that's kind of the vibe of 1984.
There's still like other warring states in 1984 though. It's not
Okay.
like a world government.
Yeah.
Okay, but basically the ants just it's one body, it's one governing body, aka the queen, and everyone just follows her orders. So they're that organized. Like they have suicide bombers, they have drones.
You guys
they
know
have
the
soldiers.
fungal parasite that will take them over and be like zombies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Imagine
also,
that on like that scale. World War Z, but it's ants.
Oh my, ants are actually like the fucking.
And then what if it like
endgame.
hybridizes? It can like affect humans now.
I don't want to think about that. I don't.
I mean, that's literally what The Last of Us
That
is.
is, yeah, because there's
So-
fungal.
Well, it
yeah,
didn't happen because of like giant ass ants.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we've talked about all these ants. What the fuck are the bears doing? You just
They're,
like
they're building their own little colonies, bro.
I was
What do you
talking
mean?
about this with Nas at the gym, and then my girlfriend. I was like, why can't we just like domesticate bears?
well, rush. It
Some
just takes a
animals
lot of
can't
time.
be domesticated.
It's not even that.
You
it's,
can domesticate a bear. They don't allow it because they're really dangerous.
You can tame them, but you can't domesticate them. There's a
Domestication is
difference.
just it's like there's certain traits. They have to be like you have to tone down their hyperaggression. Like
Yeah.
we toned down the hyperaggression in boars, now we have pigs.
Taming them just basically just like becoming friends with them, but domestication is like a genetic change.
You have to, like,
in
yeah,
the
it's
animal.
like-
Well, I read about it. Like people have domesticated bears before, or like I guess tame them, but like
Yeah,
make them
tame.
docile to where
Yeah,
they
they-
can just like be house pets.
Yeah, 'cause they feed
But,
them alive.
Like think about your dog jumping on you, and you feel like those claws rip into your skin.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but a bear.
Well, okay, I've heard.
I mean, there's lots of people that do have bears as pets in
Yeah.
like Russia and shit like that.
Yeah, I was
it's a
like
very
in
common
Russia,
thing.
and like the bears, from what I've seen, the bears are kind of conscious of that.
Yeah.
Like they know they could fuck you up. So when they put their hands in, they're like,
They're very gentle. Like,
yeah,
they
very
know to be gentle.
They know to be. It's just so weird. Like they have this like,
If danger, why friend shaped?
yeah.
I've always heard that there's like certain animals that just do not have traits for domestication and shit like that. Like that's why we've never domesticated like
Zebras. Zebras are hyper aggressive.
zebras, deer, like things that you would think would be obvious. Like why would we not domesticate deer a long time ago? There's a reason why. It's because you literally physically cannot domesticate
Yeah.
a deer.
Like the only domesticated animal Native Americans had was like an alpaca, llamas.
Yeah, llamas
They had
and shit like
dogs
that.
too.
Okay, I guess dogs. Yeah. Do they have dogs?
Well, those not
They're,
brown.
they're dogs native to America.
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense.
They had dogs and alpacas because they followed the bison and stuff around. They just basically followed everyone else.
Yeah. I remember hearing that too. Like when they had like the cultural diffusion and shit like that. Europeans had fucking like horses, they had
Cows,
cows, all
pigs.
this
That's
other
also
shit.
why Europeans were more resistant to diseases.
Because
Yeah.
they lived with all these animals already.
Yeah.
So
But
they-
meanwhile, the only thing Native Americans had was fucking alpacas, and they were just like fucked. Like when it came to farming and everything like that,
yeah.
just like oh, we're good at climbing up mountains with these.
They're
Those-
really good at
they-
climbing up mountains.
I mean,
if
yeah,
they-
So
but-
those are only exclusive to South America too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just like really drew like the short end of the stick when it comes to like that stuff.
I mean, it's also just like what they spawned in with RNG. They had like fertile resources, abundant land, but like not a lot of like what's the word? Not a lot of domestication of their resources. So like when people came in with more domesticated resources, their immune systems were stronger. They
They had a lot
had
of crops.
they just had like food. They just had like natural food, and they were thriving off of that. Also, like
They had domesticated plants, but that's just, like they don't have any domesticated animals they
Yeah.
could eat. So they would be sustained like solely off of plants. And when it came to meat, they would have to hunt it themselves. Like there's no other way to get it.
yeah. But when like the woods of your backyard, it's not that hard. I mean, also like
It's
think
way
of,
more convenient to have cows chilling.
I mean,
in
it's
the
Yeah.
way
pasture.
more convenient.
When
But
you
like,
just butcher
follow
something
some bison.
yourself, it's a lot
we'll
easier.
talk about convenience versus just like I mean, wasn't their whole philosophy if it ain't broke, don't? I'm trying to like bastardize the thing, but like
They didn't have a choice. There's literally no other domesticated animals that can't be domesticated.
yeah, so you know they
Were you
just
gonna
worked with
domesticate a
what they
fucking
got.
turtle? Like,
I mean, I was just saying for what it was
Turtle
worth,
farm, I guess.
they're working
It was like
really
a
well
fish
what they
farm.
got.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them were like,
Fish farming.
yeah. I'm sure there's like a way for them to do that.
Okay, is Moana accurate? Because they had pigs
Those aren't Native Americans.
on the Pacific Island.
They're
There's always-
Polynesian.
Polynesian. Okay, different.
They probably did have pigs there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
Because they
there's.
still went to mainland Asia.
I remember seeing a thing. It was like fossils that like ended up in like really random spots that they should not be in and shit like that.
That's because like the Earth moves
Yeah,
too.
like tectonic plates and stuff.
No,
like
it's
that.
like, but you can actually like date the fossils and everything, and it's like completely different. Like you'll see like, I don't know, a dog breed that's supposed to be over here that end up like over here, like across the world or something like that.
Probably got moved somewhat. I mean, there's a lot of people voyaging. I know, like, we know, like, the mainline exploration, but I'm pretty sure other people were colonizing areas and they just flopped. Like, what was it, Jamestown, Jones? Whichever, like, one of the first.
Jonestown's a cult.
Yo,
Jamestown.
Jamestown was the one with, like, the guy, like, Roanoke and all that stuff. Like, he left, came back,
Virginia,
everyone
yeah.
fucking died. So, like, I'm pretty sure a couple of those have happened. Where, like, 'cause I know the Vikings went to Greenland and Iceland. I know the Moors went to part of the.
That was the other thing. There was like a Viking artifact they found in like Asia or some shit like
I
that.
believe they went around everywhere.
Vikings went. Yeah, I was about to say Vikings went everywhere.
I forget where it was, but it was like,
Even then, maybe some Russian brought it.
yeah,
Asia, so.
they're just like, I have no idea how the fuck this got here or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
If an archaeologist like 2,000 years from now looked at your room as like evidence as our
Just don't
civilization,
turn on the black light, bro. But
Actually,
like,
they find Hugo, like the rat that's been in like.
oh
so
my
many
god,
episodes.
what was even like? Okay, actually, like
For context, I don't know if anyone who's watching has.
It's been in like it was in
Hugo.
last episode.
Yeah, so
It was a
Hugo
taxidermied
is a
rat.
taxidermy rat that I bought at a World Oddities Expo, and he's chilling in a bathtub drinking a Corona.
he's chilling.
He's chilling. Like I bought Hugo because he's chilling for
Oh my
real.
god, they domesticated rats.
On God, that's what I'm saying.
Like now that I think about it, like what would like
Dude,
how,
imagine. Okay, so for other context, in the kitchen, in the dining room, I have a decanter full of like hot dog water that's been in there for like
no, what would they do when they find this shit? Like,
Yeah.
cause think about, we make up excuses for like dinosaur, like, cause most research now says dinosaurs probably chirp like birds. What the fuck are you making of a taxidermied rat and hot dog water?
Well, you know about the Chinese emperor who had like his he like had like stone copies of his army.
terracotta
Just,
guy,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
like chilling in his basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, like shit, like imagine that's today's equivalent. If we just find like a cellar full of hot dog water.
What the fuck were they doing with this?
Just imagine like all physical evidence of humanity is like completely wiped out, right? Aliens come down here millions of years in the future, and the only thing they have as evidence that we existed are just memes and nothing else.
They probably assume we like uploaded our minds to the cloud like they did in Destiny.
Fucking cloud art.
Yeah.
I don't know, like just like imagine like how they would perceive our culture or whatever the fuck, just seeing like all the different
Probably
memes.
close to Egyptians, because I would say the closest
I
thing
could see that.
like closest thing I can imagine, because memes basically take the same.
They are like
form
modern day
of like hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
Like,
Soy jacks are like the hieroglyphs.
yeah, soy jacks, just like this, like just any type of like cartoon taken out of context, Shrek, SpongeBob, and just like that still image is supposed to convey like a deeper message than what just words would say.
We would literally like devolve back into cuneiform
Yeah, kind
like
of.
after a certain point. That's probably how it would like end up going.
What was that? Was the first written writing, or that was the first one that we found? I
That
think
was the first ever writing. It's
Okay.
basically just like pictures and hieroglyphics kind of.
Gotcha.
I think sometimes about like how writing is going to evolve.
Well,
Like
okay,
English?
writing is already getting like shorter.
That's
like,
what I was saying. Like I think we're gonna have like abbreviations and like emojis and shit like that built into our language in the future.
I could definitely see that, especially with our generation going older, because like it'd just be more common to be like LOL instead of
And
laughing
then
out loud.
George
or-
Washington said, "You have El Riz, King George."
Now watch as Martha skibbity gyats on my
I think like something like tone indicators is probably gonna be like built into the language and stuff too.
tone
Asterisk
indicators.
with embarrassment.
Oh,
No,
okay,
like
yeah.
shit where people are like /serious/JK,
Oh, yeah.
like
Well, yeah,
shit like
'cause
that.
you can't tell what someone means when they're texting. So like,
Exactly. So I think it's probably built into the language where like we have to write that in a sentence. Like you'll read a book and it'll say that at the end of every sentence or some shit.
Now only with
Maybe
that.
not the end of every sentence, just like the important.
But it'll be
Yeah.
like a form of
Yes.
punctuation. I feel
Yeah.
like I can see
Well,
that.
I
being
was
the
gonna
case.
say, because like I would almost argue like writing as it is right now, you can tell what the tone is based off of the words. I feel like only for like if they were doing like historical accounts, like they're saying Donald Trump or like fucking.
Then with great confusion, he
yeah,
said,
like
"They're
someone
eating the
says
cats."
something.
Yeah.
like any type of political figure, like the things going on, like public figures. Like I feel like the UN would have that attached to them. Like if the guy from like South Africa was talking to the guy from Sudan, talking to the guy from like fucking Ukraine or some shit, they would have tonal indicators that this guy sounded like this.
I guess
talking
if
to
they
that
were
guy.
doing a transcript, yeah, but in works of fiction, they already do that. It's like And then with great anger, he said quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They tell you.
But if it's like a transcript, I can see that.
Yeah, I just meant like in like legal documents or like something
Yeah,
like that.
definitely. I
I
feel
feel
like I mean that's you should because I feel like emotions matter. I was listening.
I
to
think they
this
still
video.
document this stuff too.
Yeah, they do.
I was listening to this video again on how to be persuasive from like this CIA guy, and he was just like, "Look, arguing with facts and logic does not get negotiations done." Because he worked at a suicide hotline, he's worked in like hostage negotiations.
Yeah.
He's like, "Look, arguing with facts and logic, sorry Ben Shapiro, does not persuade anyone. You have to tackle their emotions.
Yep.
You have to validate them. You have to actually put their emotions into words, and you have to lessen the blow." Because he brought up this fact. He was like, "Look, there's like I forget what it's called. There's a loss thing. Basically, it hurts more to lose $5 than it makes you feel happy to gain $5 and like vice versa. Like the loss is always 2 times greater than the gain. So if you're like gambling, whatever, losing $100 doesn't feel as good as winning $200. Like there's just not, it's not comparable.
Yeah.
And so when you talk to people, you have to like put in your mind that like, not that they're losing, but how you can minimize the emotional strain they'll have on that loss. Because if you're arguing for someone's life, they have so much power right now. How do you get them to give that up?
I think what it is like your logical part of your brain is what will help you make decisions like long term, but your more emotional part will make decisions in the short term. It's like the more irrational part. So if you're trying to talk someone down from something, that is the thing that you have
to appeal to their emotions.
do
You can't.
because-
You'd be like, "Hey, bro, you're gonna go to jail." No shit, I'm gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
It's like, "Hey,
it takes
buddy."
too long to actually appeal to that other's part of your brain to do it through.
Yeah,
like,
because
the
he also said
logical
most
part.
people act like it's funny. Contrary belief, most people act how they normally act in high stress and in low stress. Like the same patterns you fall. Like you're gonna default. You're not gonna just switch up your thinking. So if you like. Most people are already emotional, so like they're not just gonna like switch from like emotional guy holding 15 people hostage to a building to like a psychopathic, calm, collected on a whim, unless they were already a psychopath in the first place. Most people default to how they usually feel. I mean, how they usually act, and how they act is how they feel. And that is like your first method is just to, "Hey, bud." And like just like I forget what the words he uses, but like there's different words you can use to frame and to like kind of. You don't want to. It's not like when a parent talks to a child where like you're above them, but it's like you're kind
Like
of
a friend.
huh?
Like a
yeah,
friend.
like you're trying to friend them. Yeah,
That's what we do with like dementia or Alzheimer's patients or people who like have a lower sense of like consciousness in the hospital. Like because one of I tell a quick story.
yeah.
We had a patient like run yesterday.
Like run out the hospital.
Well, like not run out the hospital, but he was like he was old, but he was like speed walking kind of thing. And then like we have an alarm that he got out of bed, but then like we had a lot of those, so some people just like turn off the ringer on their phone and put it in their pocket, even though you're not supposed to. But then somebody at the nursing station goes like, "Oh, room 46 is down the hall." We're like, "Wait, what?" So then we all look and he's just like making it for the elevator, and we're just like, "Oh no." So then we go block him off. Like we can't like manhandle them because we're not security, and that's like not good looking because there are also like families waiting there.
Yeah.
So, like there's like families like trying to like see their family members coming into our floor.
And you just tackle this 65-year-old man.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So we just stand in the way. We're like, "Hey man, where are you going? Come on, man, go back to your room. Let's just chill, bro." Like kind of thing. And then while that's happening, like the charge nurse is calling security. And then he's just walking like he goes to a different floor and is walking around talking about all this like.
So did he get
stuff
on the
that he wants
elevator
to
and
leave.
stuff?
No. Like he didn't. He was going to the waiting room, which is where the elevators were. We stopped him before he got into the waiting room.
Okay.
Then he went around. And then we cornered him at the staff elevators. He tried using the staff elevators, but he can't because there's no badge. So we're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, cool. As long as nobody scans their badge or comes up the elevator and the door doesn't open, then we're fine. He'll just like be right here until security comes." The door opens and there's like 6 doctors with like the white coats on, like waiting in the elevator, and they're like trying to come onto our floor. And then they look at us and we look at them, and like the patients there, they're just like, "Oh," and then they all get in the way and like they block the front of the elevator. And then he's trying to like reach his arm inside and like touch one of the buttons, and then they're just like trying to like push him away softly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then security gets there. And this was so funny, by the way. There is like this 6'5" black guy. Like he looked like a fucking football player. Like
So
just
security.
massive absolute unit of a guy. Has like these so softest like
Like a Mike
spoken voice.
Tyson thing?
Yeah, he was literally like, "Hey, sir,
Mr.
how are you?"
Wilson. Hey, Mr. Wilson.
Come on,
How's
sir,
it going?
let's go back to your room.
Come on now.
Come on, let's go, man, let's go.
He
back
was
to
like a
your room.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, like he had a really high pitched voice, and he's just like this, like probably like fucking 400 pounds, yoked 6'5"
Yeah.
black guy. It was so funny, and then he literally picks him up like, "Oh, let's go." He just like picks him up. "Let's go to your room, sir." He's like walking back. He
What
picks
is the
him up,
guy?
walks
Is
him
the
back.
old guy just like?
He kind of gave up. He was just like, "Oh, come on,
Did he know like where he was and everything?
He did, because we asked him that later.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, we bring him back to like the room, and like we put him down in a chair. We put a chair alarm on, which is like it's like a Minecraft pressure plate you put on the chair, and when he gets up, it like has a signal. So we did that for a little bit, and then I kind of just like we took turns sitting in the room before they could like get an order for like a telesitter, so like a camera they could like watch him. And the doctor didn't renew the restraints because he had restraints earlier. They put him on overnight because he tried the same shit, tried to leave. But yeah, we just like took turns sitting in the room, like doing our charting on the computer in there. And then he would like try and talk to me. He'd be like, "So man, how's your day?" He asked me how my day was like 12 times. He's like,
Yeah.
"So hey
It's
man, how's your
loose.
day going?" And we just like do small talk. And then I like drank tea throughout the day while I was like charting. He's like, "Hey man, can I get one of those?" He talked about it like it was an alcoholic beverage.
Hey man, keep
So then I gave him. He's like, "Oh man, it's kind of hot." And he like, I don't know, like, but then he around 6 p.m. when we're about to like do shift change, he tries the same shit, and he gets back up and he's like trying to like go around and everything. So then I block him off from like going towards where like the elevators. I'm like, "Hey, let's walk this way. You want to walk? Let's walk this way." So then he like chills by the nursing station. For legal reasons, he was not in the nursing station, and then he's just like angry that he can't leave. He's like, "Come on, man, I gotta go home. Like my wife is there. She's waiting for me. She's gonna be angry." And then I'm like, "It's okay. Like everything's taken care of. Your wife's gonna come here and visit you. Like she's gonna come over, kind of thing." I don't even know if his wife's alive, so I'm like,
Yeah.
So I just say that though to like calm him down. And then he's like, "Oh, man, this was funny to me, but like nobody else thought it was funny." He just goes like, "Man, I might as well just kill myself."
Oh my god.
And then every single nurse turned around and was like, "Ah, come on, don't say that."
Like
Come-
just bringing down the
Yeah.
whole vibe. Like, come on, bro.
Don't say that. Come on, love
That's
yourself.
sad. Yeah.
I can see the
It was-
shock of it.
I just thought it was funny because it was literally something out of a TV show where like everybody turns around and is like, "Oh, come on, man! Like, don't ruin
Yeah.
the Like, I don't know."
yeah. Like,
I know
like
you-
teacher scolding.
And then
type
like
shit.
and then he tries to leave again. We call security. The same guy shows up, like the 6'5" Mickey Mouse voice.
Just a
Yeah.
cradle in
And then
his
he
sleeve.
literally like puts him in the bed for us. And then I basically give him a shot in his butt for his psychotic stuff. So like doped him out.
Yeah.
knocked for the night. Slept
And then I
through
left
the
because I was
flight.
like,
Yeah.
and he tried to get up again, but at that point I was like, "All right, shift change is over. I'm gonna leave. It's your
Yeah.
problem."
Yeah, so is it just like I think of that as like Papa's Pizzeria, but with patience. Like every time there's just an order, just walking around the whole hospital. Like, all right, come on back here.
No, that internship is like frustrating. There's like so much to do.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot.
I'm usually taking care of like 6 people at a time. During night shift, they take care of like 9 or 8 per people.
I'm saying that's probably more
insane.
accurate to like what the job is like and everything.
would-
Well, the
you know?
actual nurses only get like 4 to 5. There's
Oh,
like more
really?
nurses than there are interns and techs. So
Oh, gotcha.
That makes sense.
Damn.
yeah, in some states it's like literally illegal to assign a nurse more than like 5 or 6 patients.
No, that's
that's a
fucking
good thing.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
why
I don't know
would
how the fuck you'd keep up with that many
you- Yeah,
people.
dude. Like 9 is fucking crazy.
I know that you said like you told him like, "Oh, your wife's on the way here" or whatever, like that stuff. I've heard people that like when someone has dementia or something and they're like
He
saying-
invited me over to a dinner with his wife. He was like, "Oh, you know Gloria? I don't know you knew Gloria. Man, we should go out sometime. You free next Friday?" And I was like, "No, I'm working, man."
Because I've seen people who like when someone says something like that to them, they'll be like, "Oh no, she died 15 years ago," and then like, "What? Oh, okay."
But then they just
Like,
forget again.
Yeah, but I don't know why you would even say that to them because
Well-
if they're gonna forget again anyways, why not just say something that's gonna keep them less stressed?
It's not
Well,
necessarily
usually when they
stress-
do tell them that, they remember. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
it's
like,
they use
um,
remember.
So that's another thing I've seen. I've literally seen that. I've seen like family members visiting like somebody with Alzheimer's, dementia, change in mental status or something, and then they were like, "Oh, where's Bernice or whatever?" And then it's like, "Dad, where did you bury Mom?" And he names the exact location. And
It's
he's like,
still
"Okay,
there, yeah.
So how would she be here, or why would she be here if you buried her?" He's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, it's
So-
a little sad, but like that's kind of how.
But I
it
feel like
is.
the same thing would happen though. Like if you gave it like a week, you'd probably ask where she is again.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean,
My grandma ended up having Alzheimer's. She did like the same thing.
it's the
you
same
just-
thing
you
with
just
my
have to
grandma and
remind
stuff
them
too.
over and over.
Yeah,
Or
it's
great-grandma,
just
sorry.
reminding because like it's a little more
I
fucked.
think it's just
Imagine
less
someone believing their
awkward to
wife.
also-
Yeah, is
it's also
alive.
less awkward to just like act like that person's alive.
Yeah,
for no
Just
reason.
for like the
Yeah.
other family members.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like at that point, like if you know they're not gonna remember permanently, like I don't know why you'd even bother trying to like sit there and explain it.
It's more of like you don't want them to run around I don't like delusional is like the air quotes, but like it's just more of just like keeping them grounded in some sense. That's how I see it, as just keeping them grounded in some semblance of reality. Because like when my dad went through his thing, he was like talking to his dead grandmother, eating air pies. It was just like you don't. I don't know how.
But from their
true this is.
perspective, right? Like imagine being in that perspective and being told that.
I mean,
Like you don't even remember how the fuck you got where you are. You just like wake up one day, you look around, like, oh my god, where's my wife?
Oh, yeah, and
oh,
answer
your wife
your
died
question.
15 years ago.
To
Like,
answer
what the
your
fuck?
question, we asked him like, "Where are you right now?" And he goes, "I'm at your house, right?" Yeah,
damn, you rich as fuck. You in a
Yeah,
mansion, dude.
shit.
Doing nice.
Goddamn.
So like the IVs,
and then
the
we're like,
hundreds of people.
"No, you're in the hospital." He's like, "Oh, okay." And an hour later, he's like, "Can I leave?"
Plus, is hard, man.
Yeah.
He was picking at his IV too, which is another reason they had restraints on him.
Wow.
I got to put a new one in. That was cool.
I don't know, man. Like, dementia runs in my family. That's like a little spooky for me, but like at the same time, I feel like all I'm gonna ask my kids to do once I know it starts to hit, just like play. Like I'm gonna have a playlist of all my favorite songs and just play that for me, and I'll be pretty chill. Because music is like the last thing to go. I can just listen to my bops. You know,
Make sure you keep up with your medication regimen then, so you don't forget everything one day.
yeah, that too. But like,
I don't know. The thought of just like waking up one day and just forgetting everything is
So
like
scary
terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Because like at that point, it would
That's the scariest part of aging for me. It's not even
Yeah.
like losing my physical abilities to do things, it's losing my
Yeah.
memory.
because like it would feel like reality itself is like warped around you or something. Like
It's
it
like
would feel like everything you know is a lie or some shit.
yeah,
at that point.
yeah.
'Cause, I mean, it is like really.
Yeah, because reality is what you make it, and so if every time you wake up in a new scenario, like you're teleporting, think of it as like fast traveling through your own life. Like 1 second you're like 16 again, and you're seeing that in real life because that's how your dementia goes. And then like you wake up and now you're like 85 in a hospital bed, and then like 15 minutes later you're 35 and you're with your wife for some reason. It's like you just keep like blinking in and out, and I feel like that is.
Yeah.
It's like. I mean, there's a lot of like horror built off of that, but like that is a true fear because like who are we without our minds? Mm-hmm. But I mean, like not to say that's what makes us human, but that's kind of what makes us human.
it is.
It's
yeah,
like
it's our consciousness.
yes.
So I mean,
so like once you lose that, like
The thing is,
what's
like,
left?
dementia and Alzheimer's doesn't only come with the loss of memory. It's like complete personality changes too, and just like
Yeah.
random bursts of like anger and
Yes,
confusion.
my grandma did become a lot more angrier and
Yeah.
like
Like
more-
every single person who has dementia is like put on a violence risk.
yes,
like-
yes, they become more.
Yeah, they
well,
have
stubborn.
because
another
if you
chart.
get freaked out, you're like, dude, what the fuck is going on? You like
Yeah.
want answers, so yeah, you get more.
No, it's not
violent.
even that.
Like
It's
in
just
the
like
hospital, they say like if you're worried about, they say like the people with the highest risk of attacking you, it's not like adults, it's not children, it's elderly.
yes,
Yeah.
I believe that.
yes, because like my grandma. Well, I mean, she's like full on. Like she's just. Not like it's gonna sound like for the listeners, I mean this with the most compassion, but she's basically a prisoner in her own body at this point. That's kind of how like we were with her for a family reunion, and she was just there. She looked at people like her body was alive, but her mind was just gone. And you could look into her eyes and tell like it's like I would say it was almost like looking at a baby. You know how a baby is present, but they have no idea what the fuck is going on.
That's how that.
Yeah.
That's why I hate med surge. It just feels like you're babying people 60 years older than a baby.
Yeah.
But like she was nonverbal, so it was like a newborn. Like she was just like present. Like you would feed her food. Like it was just everything was like you would do everything for her, but like she just
But you see, like with stuff like that, like I can't help but like think about how the fact that like somewhere in there, like that same person is still there. You know what I mean?
I don't
Like
I
every
would have to
once
see
in a
the
while,
studies.
you will see someone like that have like a brief moment of like being sober.
Clarity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
clarity.
with my grandma, like she would just be very woke one day and like just know everything.
Fog's gone,
Yeah.
and then it just
Like
comes
it's
back.
it's crazy because like you'll see that where it looks like they're
And
barely
then they want to like
existent,
go outside and walk. Like, it's weird. There's this weird phenomena where a day or two before somebody dies,
Yeah.
they have like a huge boost of like confidence and
Energy.
Yeah.
energy and just motivation to do something.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but I read that
Yeah.
same thing. And like, especially when nurses see it, they get really sad when the patient's like terminal. I'm like, oh my god, I feel great today. I want to go like swimming, and they're just like,
It gets better before it gets worse.
yeah.
Do you know why
yeah.
that's the case?
No.
I don't know either, but I think it almost
It's
has
probably
to do
your
with
brain just
brain,
doing
yeah.
like a last hurrah kind of thing.
Yeah, because like I mean, you're probably just like doped out on like your own little. I don't know if it's
Is it like
DMT,
I
but,
wonder if
like-
it's like releasing all of like the hormones at once or some shit. It's just making you feel good. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, your brain like
Give
we
you
do
comfort
know
before you
your
die.
so your
Yeah.
brain does comfort you before you die. So I can imagine if your brain like knows that everything's about to go to shit in like the next 48 hours, it'll do something nice for you. Because even when you die, like your brain still protects you in death. I can't remember the exact study, but like you're because of the DMT and all this stuff, like it basically like as you die or when you're dying, it tries to remove you from that situation as soon as possible.
You mean like the DMT that's like naturally?
Yeah. But like it's like I'm like I can't remember the exact study, but basically using the DMT, using like all types of endorphins, adrenaline, when you die, like your brain, like if it's a violent death, a peaceful death, or whatever, like those last like moments of like consciousness, your brain just takes you out. Like it will try its best to like numb the pain, whatever it is. Like it will like sentience, not like physically you're being like burned alive, or whatever, but like sentience wise, it tries to protect you.
I mean this in like I don't mean this as like a weird question,
No.
but like how the fuck would they know that? Like how are they?
They measure like the chemical, like they can't like exactly tell you, but it's like they can see that okay, this is what a normal brain functions as, and this is what their brain is.
Well, I mean,
near
I feel
death.
like they can do that on like your deathbed or something, but they can't know that if you're about to get shot in the face. They can't just shoot you in the face.
Well,
Like,
no,
oh, check
it's-
his endorphins levels before and after.
Well, like it's more of like
like what the
Maybe
fuck?
they did with animals.
I guess they can. Yeah.
yeah, I would have to look it up again, but like your brain does protect you when you die. Like it does everything in its power to keep you safe. Like death, near death, all that. Because like we don't even really know where death comes from. And also, funny enough, now we're going to like death. Like what is being dead versus being asleep? Truly.
I mean, we don't know.
Exactly. There's like
I mean,
really
we
there's
really
no
don't.
fundamental difference between there's a fundamental difference between alive and dead, but like there is no like philosophical difference between being alive or just being asleep forever. And so like the CIA has also done research with this, how like dreams can do like precog. Because I had a fucking deja vu thing before I took Snowy to get her haircut. The day before when I scheduled her appointment, for some reason like I had a dream about seeing like this.
How come whenever you have deja vu, it's like the smallest shit that does not matter?
Yeah.
But it's
know?
always like a key frame for me. Like it's always just like it's like you like lock into
I know,
like a,
I know the frame, but it's like something so useless.
Yes.
You know?
But like it's
I've
so
had it a
weird.
ton of times. Like it got to the point where I had to get used to the feeling of deja vu.
Oh no, it's called deja rem because that's the one you
Yeah,
do
when
when
you
you
sleep.
Yeah,
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 deja
yeah.
rem.
Yeah. But basically with that, it was this Asian kid. It was like Eastern Asian. It was just like he was like brown skinned, but he wore a green and brown varsity jacket, and like it was his skin tone in the varsity jacket that stuck out to me because I was like, that's not. Like, you know when you just see something that you've seen before because it looks so unique. 'Cause I'm really good
I
at
see a
recognizing
lot of
faces.
dark East Asian dudes just wear green sweaters, but carry on.
But no, I'm saying like it was the specific varsity jacket that I recognized. I was like, because like I'm looking at all the colors. I'm saying like it's the color of his skin and the color of the jacket, and then he had his mom with it. She was wearing pink, and I was like,
Why have I seen this before? Yeah, it's like
Exactly. I was
it's
like,
like,
what
it's like
the
a car
fuck?
I'm driving by. I've seen that car before.
The
Yes.
craziest thing for me was when I was very young, I imagined myself in a room with a whole bunch of people on like the second floor of this building, like a big window right there, looking out the window and all this stuff. And I just remember like a whole bunch of people talking around me or whatever.
yes, those are really trippy.
But the thing is, this is when I was like probably like kindergarten age or whatever, right? I remember this exact same thing happened when I was in 5th grade after I moved schools and we were on the second floor at our elementary school and stuff like that. I was in the exact same room with all the exact same people who I dreamed of without knowing what the fuck they look like. And you're not supposed to be able to dream people you don't know.
Yeah.
And shit like that too. And I remember the exact same situation. I've had it happen to me while I'm driving, and it fucking freaked me out, and I had to like almost pull over one time because I was driving and had that shit happen. And I got like nauseous and shit.
Yeah.
Most of the
Like-
time that happens, it's when I'm driving.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like I'll hear like a sleeper activation code, or like I'll hear someone say a phrase. I'm like,
Like it feels like you're the fucking Winter Soldier, and they're fucking sitting there reading
yeah,
the
like
book
they'll
to you or
just
some
say the
shit.
fucking
I've
phrase.
had that too, where somebody says something and I'm just like, hold on, say that again.
Yeah, no, I'm like, there's no fucking
I
way those
have-
words just came out in that
I
like
shit you not. It has happened to me like at least 2 or 3 times while I've been talking to you.
me.
Like yes, like not on the podcast or anything in particular, but like it has happened while I've been talking to the two of you specifically before.
And you hear like a sleeper activation where like just a sentence like that was funny that we didn't do that on Tuesday. You're
Oh,
just
John,
like,
I love brown cupcakes.
Okay, actually, this is a funny thing, right? So I remember in middle school, right? Shout out to Alex, right? So in middle school, I used to have this happen a lot because, like I said, it happened all the way back to like fucking pre-K and shit like that. So it was a very common thing for me, and I was under the impression that I had like powers or some shit because of this, right? Like I was like, this shit is not normal. Like I feel like I can like precog the future or some shit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I had this crush on this girl in middle school, right? It's not someone you know.
no,
So,
I'm just saying like, ooh,
yeah, I had a
know
crush
them?
on. What you say?
Do I know them?
No, you don't. It's someone. They went to a different middle school. I had a crush on someone in middle school. It's like 6th grade, right? And basically, I remember I was sitting there and I was talking to Alex. I was like, I just came up with the best idea ever. If I can force myself to dream about her, then it will become true.
No, that's kind of base as fuck, though.
I was like sitting there trying to like plot out a fucking like idea for how to do all this shit. I could
No.
never figure out how to force the dream to happen. But I was sitting there, I was like, dude, like if I can just do this, I will be in control of my fate. Like I felt like I was a fucking like anime protagonist or some shit. Like I felt like I was in control of everything all of a sudden.
And I brought this up in the previous episode, but like I would like when I was younger and I would do like
Light
fucking
Yagami
sleeper.
complex.
Yeah,
I'd do
basically.
like the sleeper voice code activation, or I'll like see the scenario. I would try to change it immediately. If I knew something would happen, I would like if I knew I was gonna walk in like the left door of a building, I would go in the right door just to fuck with it. 'Cause I was like, I don't know what's going on.
See, the crazy thing is, like, I would do that, and then I'm like, oh shit, wait, in the dream I had to walk the same way. I'm like, no. Like, I would like try to change it. I would end up doing the thing I was like trying to change or whatever the fuck. That's what would happen to me.
Okay, I'm trying to find the CIA thing on the dream thing because it was actually really fucking cool when I read it.
Was that related to MK Ultra? I think vaguely MK Ultra did some stuff that had to do with dreams.
Okay, the results appear to support the hypothesis that clairvoyance can function in the absence of feedback. What does that
I don't
mean
know
in
what that
layman's
means.
terms? Yeah, exactly. So in
the absence of feedback.
So I have to like this is a fucking wall of text.
Like, I understand what they would mean if they said like absence of stimulus. Like, if you put yourself in like a deprivation tank or some shit, like maybe you could see into the future or some shit, if that's what they're trying to say. But I don't know what absence of feedback would mean.
I guess like without being exposed to so basically they didn't see you, they didn't hear you, they don't know about you. So any type of feedback that will make them aware of you, and they could just still tell you, oh, this guy with the glasses and this tattoo is in this building, having never interacted with them before. So that's no feedback. Like
That's what Total Recall is about too. Is that probably what they were trying to like recreate or whatever?
Dream lab tour during the 1960s. Typically, the subjects had lucid dreams and above all translucid. They had out of body experiences. I'm like, it's just they like you see how like they just smushed all this together. Exactly, like what the fuck. But like basically, they tried it out a bunch, and people there is a correlation between people knowing shit that you shouldn't know and them being asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so they looked into this. This is just like on CIA.gov. So CIA.gov. So like they're only going to tell you what they want you to know, honestly. But that's actually really interesting that like there is probably more merit to us because like we don't even know where like the soul comes from. So like maybe our dreams are just tapping into like the God of the universe. Like we're all connected through like the fact that we all come from the same like source elements or whatever or some shit. Like there's a greater hive mind that we're all connected to or some shit. But like I don't know. I think dreams are really cool and important.
We're able to daydream, right?
What is a day? What constitutes a daydream?
Like conjuring up images in your head, like just in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
is that not just like imagining shit? Like what?
Yeah.
It basically is.
A lot of people
okay.
can't do that, and that like surprises me. There's like a big problem I've had with like focusing and stuff. Is that I've been like a really avid daydreamer like my
Yeah.
entire childhood.
Yeah,
it's like
I
still now I
daydream too.
daydream.
I think we've talked about this once before where we say like imagine an apple and like think about how we imagine the apple because different people imagine the apple in different ways and stuff like that.
I just imagine a fucking stock photo of an apple.
Yeah, me, like mine is blurrier. Like I have like
I can see that shit in like 4K.
mine looks like a crayon drawing of an apple, I guess
Oh.
kind of. Like I don't have like an exact
You
drawing of
have
mine.
the concepts of an apple.
I have the concepts of an apple. Yes, exactly. But
What about you? You just see like the apple in 4K.
I can see I can just switch the apple. I can see a green apple. I can see a Minecraft.
Dude, I can
apple.
zoom into the apple and see the pores on it. I can see the fur on that apple.
she's moldy.
Now I can imagine a furry apple.
Fuck, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I can't do that a lot of the time. I can't switch like the color of it. I can't switch like the angle of it and stuff like that either. A lot of the time.
I might have an art brain though. I don't know if that's
No,
that's
yeah,
a thing.
yeah.
Well, I have like the same type kind of thing, but I'm shit at art.
Well,
Like
art
I
manifests
know
in
what
different
I
ways.
know what I want to draw.
Yeah.
But
We
I-
talked
but
about
I
this
don't have
earlier.
the
Because you
coordination
do
to do it.
decorations.
I don't know if
it's
we
a
talked about it
visual
on the
thing.
podcast.
We did. We
Have
talked about
we?
this one time before. 'Cause I mentioned your decorations. Art isn't always like just drawing. Like interior decorators are artists.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
anyone
that's
that has any type of idea for like feng shui and aesthetic, that is art. You understand. You can visualize appealing things in your head and then put them in reality.
Yeah.
That to me is art.
But I
Like,
can't like create.
For me, I'm like the opposite. Like I cannot visualize something I want to draw or whatever very well at all. I just have to fucking freeball it. And then like it just kind of pops up as I'm doing it or whatever the fuck. I'm very like improvisational when it comes to stuff like that, I guess. Like I can't ever make something like if I ever try to draw something very specific that I'm thinking
You
of,
can't copy something.
it always looks like shit.
Okay.
Like if I ever want to draw something specific that I want to draw in my head, it never works.
Okay.
But if I just like sometimes it'll like actually come out good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to, like, that's a very weird thing for me.
No,
I think it's because, like, in my head, the image is blurry. Like, I can't, like, get an exact image of
the
it.
finer details are kind of
so, like, instead, my hand is trying to, like, fill in the blanks, and it just doesn't work. I think it's probably, like, what it is. I don't know.
closer to that. Yeah.
I mean, you probably see the general pattern of what you have on the page, and you're like, maybe if I do this, it'll fit with what I'm thinking, and that's what's going on.
That's basically improv. It's like you're kind of like putting the pieces together, but like you don't necessarily know the full schematic outline, whatever the term is.
It's like those AI generated images will take a picture and then like zoom out and like make the image wider.
Like the fucking Rick Astley's
like
and
how,
stuff like that.
That's how mine does it when it's trying to like fill in the blanks and stuff in like the image I have in my head.
Yeah, those are actually really fucking trippy because for the longest time I didn't know they were like an actual like it would be like Lost or like Rick Astley or fucking Martin Luther King just blown up like really extreme. Like I actually thought these was like landscapes and shit. It actually like confused the fuck out of me for a while.
What are you talking about?
You talking about the AI thing with like they would like have a face, but like they would. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about like they would have like a painting or like a picture or something like that, and then they'll just like zoom out and show like what's beyond the borders of the painting and like normal context.
Like,
that's basically what I'm saying, but I think the ones I've seen, like they take real people and turn them into art. So like basically, you zoom out, you can see that the colors make Rick Astley, but if you zoom in, it just looks like a beautiful landscape with like pinks and purples. Is that kind of what you're saying, or different?
No, it's different, but I get what you're saying though.
Okay, that's what
you're saying reminds me of those fucking Minecraft pixel art videos.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, but it would be like with real people and like memes and stuff. They would do. Yeah.
I was watching a video the other day too. It was about like. It was this guy who clearly took like acid one too many times or whatever the fuck. And he was basically talking about how like his entire life changed on like his view of perspective and everything.
Every person who takes acid ever.
Exactly. He started saying that like his entire, like he started believing that what he sees on acid is like what's real and what he normally sees is not or whatever. But he was basically like breaking down like the science aspect of it because like light is obviously like a huge spectrum and like the visible light spectrum is so small. He's basically saying that he thinks like when that happens, you're like widening what you're actually able to see.
Oh yes, I add more cones and I change the physiology.
Yeah,
of my
exactly.
eyes.
Like, it doesn't make any sense, but like your brain is really what processes there.
Yeah.
So it's changing the like impact on your brain as opposed to like changing the actual cones in your eyes.
It is,
and stuff.
but like
it's like it's changing how your eyes receive the input as opposed to like
the actual hardware application of it. Like I get that.
It's like retrofitting a computer to do some shit it is not.
I get that, but I don't get how you would think that that's how it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Yeah.
Like it's only because like a lot of the times people who take that stuff will be like, oh, I saw this like fucking deity while I was in there. He's like talking to me and shit like that. And like a lot of people like report seeing like the same things. I guess that's why a lot of people say stuff like that because they're like, oh, I see like extra dimensional beings or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
No, I saw like a thing on YouTube about.
What happens if you gave? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Keep going.
No, I saw this video on YouTube about like I think it was like drugs and how they can be used in like the medical field and stuff like that, and how like it is very like what we talked about earlier, how like drugs affect everyone differently, and how like you can give I forget what study it was like acid, LSD, or like it was some hallucinogenic drug. And in some of the reports, obviously, like the people said it made them more stressed, more anxious,
Is
more.
it ketamine?
No, it was like an LSD. It was a hallucinogenic. It was like more of like not a therapeutic, but they try to use it therapeutic. They're trying to see the effect.
That's a thing they do with ketamine. They do ketamine trials on people who have like severe depression.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, it might have been ketamine.
I know
can't
shrooms
remember.
are very common.
It was
Medicinally.
closer towards like shrooms and acid. What they were saying in the YouTube video.
Has anyone ever like let someone take acid like medicinally? I feel like
yes, that's part of the trial. It was
really
because
I know people have done it with shrooms. I just don't know if they've ever done it with.
It was LSD and some other stuff. I can't remember all
Just
the
because
drugs
something's done
there.
in a clinical trial doesn't mean it's clinically approved.
Basically,
that's what I'm saying. Like I know there have been times where shrooms have been clinically approved. I just don't know if
Not
acid's
in
ever been
the
the same
state.
way.
I don't even think that's the case in California.
But basically,
really?
like
Yeah.
I'm basically gonna rehash of what everyone knows. But like some people, it had adverse effects where like it would make them depressed or give them like basically like because acid shrooms they make you think too much. Some people couldn't handle that, and some people needed to handle that. Like the same people that like not the same people, the same in that group. People were like, yeah, it made me think too much. It made me too sad because it brought up these past traumas that I don't want to deal with. Versus people like, yeah, it brought up shit, and then I dealt with it. Now I feel better. So like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like. It's really interesting, but it's really I'm really interested in this field of study about how they can be used to help mental health because honestly, it looks like just giving you the ability to confront these problems do help some people, but of course it hurts others. So like it's really hard to tell who needs it and who doesn't need it, if that makes any sense. Like it can do more harm to some other people and it could do great goods for others.
Well, I feel like if your issues are more internal, it's probably more beneficial for
it
you.
would be probably more harmful because like some people are frightened of the things that they've like dealt with, and when you drop
it could be
on
better
them-
or worse. It
Yeah,
depends on the person.
it's a 50-50, but like I feel like for most people they would rather want to run away than fight it.
Yeah, but
Because that's why it's suppressed in the first place. Because they didn't want to deal with it.
That's when you can actually have positive change, though, is when it's an internal thing. If it's an external thing that you're being confronted with, you can't really change anything about yourself to change like what's external.
like your living situations, your environment.
Yeah, like if you like start hallucinating like people abusing you or something because you were abused as a child or something, like you're probably not going to have any kind of positive impact.
because there's nothing you can do about it.
But if it's just like, oh damn, I'm a bad person, I should probably change. That's something you can confront a lot easier.
Well, in those cases, not saying that what you're saying isn't true, but they will actually talk
I
about
have
Some
no
people,
idea
some people
how that
also
would
don't
happen.
like to recognize that.
That they're bad people or whatever. Yeah, no,
Yeah, so-
I agree with that.
I'd say most people don't. want to
I would say
recognize that.
like the people who talking about they were abused were also talking about how like just dealing with it and like as an adult versus it basically was like bringing childhood trauma to the forefront as an adult with their adult brain. They were actually able to process it better. Like, yeah, no, they touched me there. That wasn't cool, but that doesn't define me. That's like the type of shit they were on. And I think that's really cool because like mental health is a problem. Like we saw with the fucking presidential debate. I don't know if either Waltz or whatever the fuck addressed it, but I think mental health is like a thing we should definitely look more into, especially in this country in particular.
We live in a society.
We live in a society where you can have like a really good movie and then they just give you like a blank check and then to make sure you never have to make another movie, you make an ass movie.
Yeah.
That's the society we live in where money is more important than, well, hell, anything else. Oh,
Are y'all going to watch Joker 2
Yeah.
at any point?
probably
I just
not.
can't right now. I'm too busy.
Damn.
Probably
But I want to
not.
watch it.
Okay, so you don't want me to spoil it or anything?
No.
God.
I prefer if you didn't.
Yeah, no,
I can just leave if you want to talk about it.
No. That's
Okay.
fine.
No,
but,
but
So while you were like conjuring up that like really beautiful thing about like medical science and like loving yourself and like just like different alternative therapies kind of thing, I had a different thought. What if you gave Helen Keller like LSD?
she'd probably
She's
still
blind,
hallucinate.
she's blind and deaf. Or how many senses does she not have? Is it just like sight and hearing?
Blind and deaf.
Well,
and yeah.
LSD affects your brain though, so you'd probably still hallucinate.
But that's what I'm trying to
What would a
imagine.
person
though,
who
like,
can't see
yeah.
see? Would it just be like emotions?
Would you feel
yeah,
things
you would,
differently?
She would feel like
you do
happier.
feel things differently.
Yeah.
Actually, you do feel things differently on LSD. So she might actually like it might give her a heart attack for one, because that'd be probably the most sensation she's probably felt in the longest time.
Yeah.
But if I had it, okay, did she actually fly that fucking plane? Because I think that's bullshit. I'm
Flew a
sorry.
plane?
She did not fly a plane.
She allegedly
Was the
flew
plane
a
on
fucking.
autopilot?
I don't fucking know.
Like I've heard you say this one other time.
Hold on, I'm gonna search it right
There is
fucking
no
now.
way
fuck she
anyone
fly a
has
plane?
ever said Helen Keller flew a plane. There's no way. Like they cannot think we're that dumb where they would say that Helen Keller flew a plane.
Helen Keller flew a plane in 1946 while traveling to Europe with her companion Polly Thompson on the behalf of the American Foundation for the Overseas Blind.
Okay, they probably
She
did the
flew
shit
the plane.
they probably did the shit they do to you as like a 6-year-old. Let you sit in someone's lap and like hold the steering wheel for a second. There's no fucking way.
Because she had a co-pilot, but this nigga was just sitting there like, Helen, we have turbulence, Helen.
Nah,
And she's
that-
just like,
That shit's like when you have like the fucking kids and like the racing cars, shopping carts, and they're like driving the steering
Yeah,
wheel on the shopping
yeah.
car, but they're not actually moving anything. Like, there's no way she was actually flying a
but
fucking
this is
plane.
1946, so what kind of technology would they have to like
The
give
co-pilot was with her and doing all
They
of that
probably
stuff.
had a fake steering wheel to give her. It's not that hard. In driver's ed, they do the same shit when they give you like a fake steering wheel to drive the
She
car. and shit.
piloted it for 20 minutes. That's probably as long as she got. She said, fly in a straight line. Don't fuck me up. And then he's all right, get out.
I flew in the straight line. Look, I flew the plane.
Because it was 20 minutes from Rome to Paris. Actually, let's see where Rome and
That
Paris
shit probably didn't even take off yet. He was like, "Oh, Helen, guess what you're doing
Rome and
right
Paris
now?"
are not that far. Like if you're flying, I mean.
Flight path. If it's a straight line, then I will believe it's a straight fucking line.
Okay,
Most flight paths are in straight fucking lines.
For 20 minutes, she flew in a straight line.
Alfonso, you realize anywhere on the planet you can drive to in a straight line in a plane, right?
No, I'm just saying.
I was about
like,
to say, like everywhere basically flies in a straight line.
but like,
you can get anywhere in a straight line.
but like that's it. That's how she flew. They just said, don't touch the wheel.
yeah.
They put her in the plane and said, don't touch shit. So that makes, I believe that now. I believe she flew the plane.
She didn't fly
She
shit.
didn't fly
She
the
didn't touch
plane.
it. Oh, did they let her land the shit?
Yeah, no, they said they put her on the thing.
If she didn't land the plane, it doesn't
did
count.
she land? Okay, did she land?
Her ass did not land the
Her
plane.
ass better be landing this plane, bro.
She is blind. She is deaf. That shit would crash and she would have no idea.
Oh, he told her what to do. Her co-pilot told her what to do.
How the fuck is he telling her what to do?
I guess these.
Is he passing her messages in Braille?
Either Braille or he's like signing shit into
Oh,
her
maybe
palm.
Morse code.
He's just snapping to her presently.
Is he just like tapping her?
Yeah,
Morse
maybe.
code?
I don't
What
know.
the fuck?
Now, turn.
Tactical sign language communication.
What the fuck is tactical sign language?
Tactical sign means you touch
Tactile,
it.
like touching.
I
Tactile.
thought you said tactical
Yeah.
sign.
Is it not tactical? Is it
What's
tactile?
tactile?
It looks like tactical. Am I
Oh, it
reading
is
that?
like tactical.
That is
I think that's a misinput on there, and this should be tactile. Anyway,
Tactically just tapping. Don't kill me, bitch.
No, all this Helen Keller shit always pisses me off, dude. I swear to God, none of this can be real.
when I was a kid, I used to believe she was not a real person.
Josh, he has like a bumper sticker that says Helen Keller is not real.
God.
There is no way she did all the shit they said that she can do.
So it's funny that you mentioned.
Okay, I don't know if they're telling the truth anymore. This bitch got her sight back at 16. So I like what?
That's not true. Her ass was blind and deaf her entire life after a certain
Well,
point.
my hero Helen Keller did. She got very sick and she didn't get what she needed. And she didn't get what she needed to treat it, so she lost her hearing and sight. She got an operation at 16, which restored her sight.
She was a grown-ass woman when she was blind.
She's a grown-ass woman at 16.
She was not a grown-ass woman at 16.
In 1980?
Okay, Drake, whatever you say, but
I mean, not in
no.
1980, 1880.
Like, what the fuck?
In 1880, I think, yeah, 16 is old enough. And
Retract that statement.
Yeah, please.
I was trying.
Okay, anyways,
I'm
Darren.
so
what were-
fucking flustered.
Darren, what were you saying? Go on. Darren, what were you saying?
Dumbass.
He's already fucked it up at this point. Just move on. All right, Darren, what were you saying?
So I was gonna say it's interesting that you said that like LSD affects the brain, so all the senses would be affected in the brain.
Yeah.
So like that's very true. That's why like people who get in car crashes will just like that's why concussions make you go blind. Because when you have a concussion, your occipital lobe, which is in like the back of your head, like smacks against your skull and it fucks up, and that fucks up like how you perceive vision. It's like nothing happened to your eyes; it's all in your brain.
Well-
so do y'all know how like bone conduction hearing aids work?
You're talking the ones that like vibrate?
vibrating your bone?
Yeah, so like they usually hang behind the ear.
Yeah.
And they send electrical impulses through the skull onto your temporal lobe, which is usually like your auditory
What the fuck?
processing lobe. And it makes you hear that way. So it has it like to a certain point your eardrums are like fucked. Like the actual
So it
hardware.
beams the sound directly
Does
into
it
your
sound like
brain?
a
Yes,
mic?
like it sends signals to your brain so it mimics the sounds you would hear with the hardware in your
Does it
ears.
sound like a voice
Whoa.
chat in a COD lobby? That's all I need to know.
I don't know. I've never tried it.
I feel like it would sound like a voice chat in COD lobby, just like slightly muffled, but like you still kind of pick up the
So wait, if you
tones.
put that on while like you have normal hearing, will you hear
It's
stuff?
just, it would just be like really loud.
Oh.
I don't know.
Because I mean, you're still hearing it in the same way they would.
I don't know
would you not?
anybody who has it. I just like learned about it in class. So that was really
Yeah.
fascinating. I told my uncle about it, and his doctor had no idea what bone conduction hearing aids were, and I was like, you should find a new doctor. That's ridiculous.
Is
But
your uncle
anyway,
deaf?
yeah, he's deaf.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, he should get a new doctor.
He's basically deaf. I have to like shout when I'm right next to him.
Got you. That's an L doctor.
Yeah.
Unless he's old, it's like, when the fuck do they add that? The hell?
Yeah, I know there's like different types of blindness and stuff though. Like
There's legally blind. There's actually blind.
I'm technically blind.
really?
So I wear glasses.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
So what is like the definition of blind then?
I just impaired vision.
That's
Because
it.
I mean, if I take off my glasses, I'm blind. I can't do anything. I would
Yeah.
not be able to drive like this.
Because I know there's some people who are like quote unquote blind, but they still see color. They just don't see images.
Yeah, it's
It's
legally
probably
blind.
it's probably just like super
that-
blurry beyond like
Yeah.
something glasses could
yeah,
fix.
'cause I knew a kid legally blind.
If you're
Yeah.
born blind, you don't see anything. Like you don't see black. You just don't see anything at all, and that includes like you don't know what the color black is either.
Yeah.
That's a crazy concept to me. Like
It is a crazy concept.
missing an entire sense. Like I don't know what the fuck that would be like.
yeah, because this is what legal blind. Because he actually explained this to me, the kid, when I was in like middle school. That's what he sees. The one on the left. That is what he sees. I just see colors.
Yeah.
He has like special glasses.
Can I
He
see
has
it?
like special shit. Like he just sees colors.
Yeah, it's like so blurry glasses can't fix that.
Like I didn't know those. Like you can't tell those are people if you don't know what people are.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let's say one morning you woke up without one of your senses. Which sense would you want it to be?
Woke up without a sense.
Yeah, you woke up with one of your senses just completely not working anymore. Which sense would you want it to be?
Probably touch.
Touch?
You need touch.
You couldn't walk.
I mean, I could still will
Out
myself.
of
to
all of
get
my
up.
senses, I'll get rid of my sense of smell.
Well, you saying I can't walk without touching things? I can't just use my muscles to push me up, regardless if I can feel it or not.
Have you ever tried to walk with your
There's
legs
people who
asleep?
literally can't feel already, and they can walk. They hurt themselves. Like there's people who literally have no sense of like pain receptors. Yeah,
That's
You
pain.
don't
That's still
want
a
that?
touch.
You would break a bone and not know.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the worst thing that could happen.
Have you ever
to
tried
me.
to walk with your legs asleep?
I mean, it's not comfortable. I've done it before.
You can't walk with your legs asleep, really. Like, that doesn't work.
You wouldn't know how to move them.
Yeah.
You would trip so often. You wouldn't even know if you're touching the floor.
I don't know.
You would fall like all the time.
Yeah.
Let me Google. Let me pull out my.
I think for me, it's
resource.
definitely smell.
Yeah, I definitely would do smell.
Yeah.
Well, smell is 80% of your taste.
So? Let's
That's still have taste.
Yeah.
No, like he's talking about eliminating a sense. Like he's not talking about like the physiological application of that.
Yeah.
Just losing a sense. I would lose my sense of smell.
Can you walk if you can?
But I feel like I would just like be super conscious of like smelling bad.
Yeah.
So I would like always carry like body spray and like gum on me.
Instead, you just smell like fucking Axe body spray 100% of the
I
time.
don't use Axe, but yeah, anyway.
Well, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like,
You're like, oh, it's been 5 hours. Just in case.
did you find it?
It just says it makes it difficult, but it's not that you can't. If it's numbness, which I would assume is what you're losing, that sense is just everything's numb, so you don't really.
So how would you know if you're touching the floor? How would you know where to move your legs if you couldn't feel touch?
No,
And also, why is touch the one you volunteer? You don't want to be like, you don't want to feel like the warm embrace of a hug anymore?
no, I don't really hug people in general. Sorry, but I'm fine with that. You know, I mean, for me, that
That's
just
right. I
seems-
guess you don't have sex either, huh?
God, what the fuck?
You got it. You know what? I'm going out a real one.
Motherfucker said, I'm not going to miss anything.
Dude, you would never know if you were erect.
I don't know that right now.
You're just walking around
You could
like,
walk into a room fully erect and it would be so awkward.
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing.
Is your sense of smell that important to you?
I cook. I like cooking. I would not want to give that up.
You don't need a sense of smell to cook.
Yes, the smell. Yes, the smell is more. That helps more with cooking than it does tasting. Tasting
How?
does not. Tasting is a really small factor into smell. Smell is the majority of what you do when you taste things. That's why they do like smell water. I don't know if it's true or not, but like smelling is 80%, tasting is 20% of the actually
What's the
what
fucking
you
point of cooking? Like putting so much effort into cooking if you can't taste, if you like, I don't know.
taste.
Dog, you probably couldn't even pick up the fork to eat it. Like, you try to pick it up, go, eh.
I'll just face palm everything. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and you'd have fucking like spaghetti sauce all
You
over
would
your
never
face, and
know.
you wouldn't even know because you can't feel the sauce on
Well, you
your
know what I
fucking
do?
face.
I'll do the same thing girls do all the time.
You'd be like
in
biting
my-
your tongue on
my
accident and
class.
not know.
I'll just pull out my phone because I have a phone. And I'll just check myself every now and then. Like, all right, we're good.
You would like bite your tongue on accident, and you wouldn't know until you taste blood in your mouth.
Also, I disagree. Smell is not the most important thing when cooking. Like you definitely need to taste that shit.
It's the majority of your taste comes from smell.
No, we're not talking about like the physiologic
That's what I'm
application
saying,
of a
like, that's
sense. We're
why I
talking
would
about like
take it.
if you were just to lose one sense entirely, you still have all of your taste intact.
But you can still taste the food even without the smell. You know that, right?
Yes, but it's a less like it's a very muted sense of that.
No. Think of like having your nose plugged all the time. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but you ever
Like,
been
you're not-
stuffed?
you're
have
not
you ever been
losing-
sick before? That's when your nose is all stuffed. Like, you know what food tastes like when you're sick and you're congested?
Yeah, I can
It's good
handle
as
that.
fuck. It tastes good as fuck.
It tastes very muted. You just taste like the sugars and the salts. You don't taste the.
I can
intricacies
handle
of it.
that. You're
That's
telling
fine,
me,
John.
You're telling me that you would rather fucking lose your sense of feeling than have a cold?
Then have
Like, what the fuck are you saying?
then have my greatest passion and my greatest joy taken away from me. Yes, I would.
How would you know you're not accidentally burning yourself? How would you know you have the spoon in your hand?
I would just be careful. You're acting like I'm not gonna be careful.
You set fires in the kitchen before, so
I mean, you're acting like I wouldn't be more careful. I mean, fuck.
Your ass would not be careful.
I
dude.
would be careful.
you would still trip all the time when walking back and forth between the fridge and the
That's
stove.
just the
That's
life
just how it
live.
is. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
You would
yeah.
try to carry the food into another room and spill it and fucking fling it all over the place. And then you'd have to like, what the fuck?
That's a bridge I'll cross. Look, you're saying like I can't just adapt. Like if Helen Keller can live,
Why can't you adapt without a sense of smell?
I don't want to. I want to cook things. But like if
You can
Helen,
still cook without a sense of smell. Just taste test it.
if Helen Keller can be fine and she can fly a plane, I could function.
She did not fly that
She
plane.
flew
There's
the
no
plane
way
for
she
20
flew that
minutes,
plane.
bro.
Could feel, she could smell, she could taste. She could not see, and she could not hear.
Okay,
So that doesn't apply
she
to your
got
argument
two
at all.
debuffs and was still able to fly a plane. I
Yeah,
can
but
live with
her
one.
debuffs are like significantly better than your debuff.
That's just one debuff and I'll be fine. Like I'll
It's
be
a
fine.
major debuff.
Everything.
Okay.
You could break your leg and just not know and develop a thromboembolic like embolism.
You
in your
just
head.
said
Like,
words that I don't understand.
Let me flip
Just
this around,
scared me.
right? You wake up one morning and you only have one working sense. Which one is it? You better not fucking say smell. I swear to God. You have one working sense.
Y'all gonna hate me for this.
Oh my God.
I would say hearing just so I could call for help.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see hearing.
Because I feel like
Okay.
I'm fucked like every single other way.
I'll just be Daredevil. Give me a smell.
I think with hearing, I can still communicate, and that's why I choose that.
Yeah, I would agree with hearing. Mine
What
would be
did you
either.
say?
Smell.
Why is that the one
I'll
you
be Daredevil.
picked?
I would be hearing or sight. One of the two. Like those are the two most important senses to me. I think either hearing or sight, because that's how you communicate. You know what I mean? I think I would rather have one of those.
You just develop like you know how like
You guys are gonna fucking communicate like how bees do with their fucking pheromones. You're gonna
They
walk
dance.
around. You're gonna walk around fucking stank as hell, and that's the only way you can communicate. Oh, sorry, I'm just communicating with my pheromones. You'd have like a fucking
That's
Stephen
how
Hawking
ants
translator
communicate.
for you. And
Bees
shit.
dance, John. So I'll be busting it
you
down.
can't even communicate
sexual
because he
style.
can't hear himself sniffing.
I would
That's
still
true.
feel it. Oh, I wouldn't
You
feel
wouldn't
it.
feel it. You can't feel. That's the one you volunteered to give up.
Yes, the aromas would be very pleasant.
I sure hope so. At that point, like Jesus Christ, I don't know.
I think maybe I would choose sight. Actually, no.
Like, yeah, I don't, because I mean, sign language is probably easier to learn than like, because it's hard to communicate if you're deaf if you don't have Braille.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think it would make more sense to have sight because you could still
Even if I'm deaf, I can
sign
still talk. That's the thing. I can only talk though.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, I
I
guess
cleaned
I'll
the
go
house
blind.
for a blind lady, and I mean, her computer talks to her, and she has a Braille keyboard. She seems to be chilling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not the worst thing to lose sight.
well, that's what I'm saying. If you
If
lose
you could
sight
only
and
have
touch,
if you only have like one
Yeah.
sense though.
yeah, if you lose sight and touch, then that means you can't use
Yeah.
Braille.
I mean, at that point, like, are you even alive? I mean,
Yeah.
Have I ever told you about my idea for the human worm?
no, John. That just sounds awful.
You know, like human centipede, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
John.
I've had like like Tusk, like that type
Yes,
of thing.
John.
I had an idea for like an evil scientist who just turns someone into a human worm.
Evil scientist in
Gets rid of
question.
their
He gets rid of all of their senses, all of their limbs. It basically makes them only a mouth and a body.
So I have no mouth, but I must scream.
Yes, like they literally do. I found out later that was already a thing, and I have no mouth and I
Yeah,
must
that's
scream.
literally what you were describing.
But I'm like imagining it as like a dark comedy, like fucking Tusk is almost. I don't know, but like,
what's comedic about it?
what do you even think at that point? Like, I don't know. Like,
Burrow.
do you
plays the laugh track.
the laugh track?
You said you want to make a comedy.
Yeah. It's just someone like you just put
Imagine like the worm is just chilling in on like a sofa couch with like a suit
vest.
a suit vest on.
Yeah, and then you start
it's
pouring salt on him.
And then like the wife comes in and is like, "Honey, I'm home." And then
You
the
just
worm
can't
is just
hear her.
plays the laugh track.
And then they get him off the couch. He pours salt on him. And you have to get off the couch and go to work. And he's like,
Yeah. Do you think there's any validity to their like the stuff we talked about earlier with like the extra stuff you see when you're like high on acid or whatever? Like, do you think there's any validity to you actually seeing like anything that you wouldn't ordinarily see?
"What do you mean validity?
No.
Like
Like,
sober?
I'm a little lost in what you're.
Like, do you think there's actually like stuff like I don't know, like other stuff that could be
You
out
can like
there that
tap
you
into
can't
the
see?
fourth dimension on acid.
Not even like that, but like I'm trying to think because like I said, like there's like there's a spectrum of light that we literally cannot see
Yes.
under ordinary context.
Yes. Okay.
Do you think there's a way to like
Like a consciousness
substances
spectrum.
disrupts the chemical processes that
Yeah.
happen in your like neurons, like the neurotransmitters it literally disrupts your vision, so it's not.
Well, wouldn't
there.
like almost sensory deprivation make certain senses, or like certain things stronger?
Yes,
So
but
I-
that's different from taking like a substance and seeing different things.
So my answer to that would be more of like, I guess you would almost be like a radio frequency. You would tune into different things.
do you think there would be a way to genetically modify someone to have more cones and stuff?
I've always thought about that. I'm like, bro, I want to see what a mantis shrimp can see.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
What can they see? What
They
See
have 16
everything.
cones.
Like they can see like the entire spectrum of like fucking everything.
They have
So, like,
16
so they
cones.
see
We have
infrared,
3.
ultraviolet, everything in
Yes.
between.
Gamma
Yes.
rays,
Yes.
X-rays.
They see gamma rays. They see
Holy
X-rays. They
fuck.
see infrared. They see ultraviolet.
And
They
aren't
see
those
our
ones
spectrum of light.
Aren't they the ones with like the gun fingers? Like
Yes.
Yeah, they can also like punch really hard,
It's got a base.
Yeah, they get punched so hard they can fucking like break your finger.
break
Yeah,
your
yeah,
testicle.
yeah.
It's like underwater combustion almost the way they punch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like a
hard.
gun. Yeah.
Like it literally creates pockets of heat in like air.
Yeah.
Like the water evaporates around where they punch.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen them break glass before.
I mean, that makes sense that they need to see everything because they are like quite literally like the deadliest. Like, okay,
But imagine what the fuck you see though.
That's what
they
I,
probably see ghosts, bruh. If ghosts exist on any type of light spectrum, they probably see
like, I'm
ghosts. and
trying to
shit.
imagine what like there's literally no possible way to like imagine what that would even look like. Like we cannot
Yeah.
comprehend what that looks like at all.
Would everything just look white then? Because you like the purples
No.
to reds will all muddle out into like one color with that not.
But you're also seeing X-ray. Like
It's
you're
not
seeing
white.
Oh, I forgot X-ways too. Okay.
Because white is just every
You
color
probably
on
see
the
fucking
visible light
radio
spectrum.
waves too, dude. Like,
Yeah, you do see radio waves. That's white.
God.
Everything has to look like you know how spider sense. Everything has to just look like spider sense.
I just
constantly,
imagine
like-
everything being like a fucking jumbled mess on your eye, like all the time.
Yeah, I feel like it has
But they're
to
so
be.
fucking accurate, so it must be like an advantage. Like they can like see like the radio waves bouncing off this creature. They
A
can
lot of
literally,
that is probably
fucking-
like sense though. Like they can like sense your location.
Do they
and shit
usually
like that.
live at like the bottom of the ocean, or like how
Man,
much
I
light
think-
are they
yeah,
usually exposed to?
mantis-
I think they're normally on the
What's their
surface.
level?
Because otherwise, why the fuck would they have that many different? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that makes sense that they would see infrared in like the dark kind of thing.
I guess that's true.
Warm, shallow, so shallow. They see a lot
Okay.
of light.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they just literally see everything.
Yeah. They probably look at the sun like, oh my god, that thing is fucking.
I think spitting right now.
Yeah. Because the sun has gamma. Oh, how many? The sun has a lot of rays. I can't. It's like infrared, gamma. There's is it ultraviolet from the sun as well? I want to
Yeah.
say there is.
Yeah, UV light is from the
Yeah.
sun.
So there's so many. They're just like, what the fuck is that?
Plus visible light.
Oh my god. I think you know what? If I had any like, that's like some y'all seen a fucking.
I want to play a radio next to one to see what it sees.
Oh my god. Y'all know
Or a
JJK, right?
microwave.
I feel like Mantis Shrimp is just like Gojo.
I haven't seen JJK.
He has
I
like
know of
really
it.
cool eyes.
Yeah.
He has like the 6 eyes. It's
I'm just like I feel like if you like flipped a switch on someone and turned on that ability for them, and then took it away, it would probably fry their brain. Like if you did it like a human being.
depending on how long and the exposure to it.
You might
Because
just like vomit spontaneously.
Yeah, because I mean
Just
you're
so
you're
confused.
unlocking senses that they did not have before.
Yeah, all at once.
yeah, and then just take it away like in the instant later.
Yeah, you are unlocking like dozens of senses at once that they did not physically have before then.
I mean that's pretty cool. Not I mean the sense part, not the actual horrifying existential ramifications that you now know. You were once a god and now you're just a mortal man. But
Yeah.
I don't know what I kind of think that because I'm still thinking about our untitled project that we've been working on the side. When it comes to like certain like things of like sight and like light travels really fucking fast, and so like do these mantis shrimp also have like a perception of speed? I mean, they're like one of the fastest creatures, obviously are, but like
We have a
light,
perception of speed. We don't get any of that.
like I'm sorry, like.
Well, keep in mind different types of light
Travel at different
at
speeds. That's what I'm saying. Like
speeds, yeah.
they perceive different speeds, like low moving speeds, like
Well, even
red
then-
versus fast moving speeds, like ultraviolet, and it's like they
Well, I was gonna say
perceive speeds.
visible light moves at different speeds as well.
Yeah,
Red light moves at a faster or slower speed than
Faster.
blue light does. Faster?
Faster.
Yeah.
That's why when you get a red car, they tack on extra insurance fees because you're more likely to be pulled over for speeding because their police scanner, when they scan it, it might show like a false positive for speeding.
okay.
Because you're going
Is
a
it
little
opposite than
faster.
purple slower or something? Oh,
Yeah, like purple. Would be the
I've also
slowest.
heard that like out of the corner of your eye, if you see something move very fast, you're much more likely to see it as red
it's
than
red,
you are
yeah.
as blue. Yeah. Just because of the way like visible light moves. Like
Okay, yeah,
red will physically get to your eyes faster than like blue will.
yeah. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like they would just like it's speed. Like I don't know how else to say this because like wouldn't if you move fast enough past like light, wouldn't also colors be altered too?
Well, if you're moving past the speed of light, you wouldn't see anything.
Oh, I mean,
'Cause you're moving faster than light.
If you move
Yeah.
at the speed of light, well, I guess then you probably would still see colors normally. Well, I guess you would see certain colors differently. I guess just certain ones that like don't travel as like fast as just like regular visible light.
Yeah.
But what do you mean by like traveling? Like you would have to say I'm traveling at the same speed of like all spectrums of light. Then you would see all of them. But if you're moving at like slightly faster than what red takes, you would just
Yeah.
have to see an absence of red.
Yeah, I guess that's close to what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like you would just like certain colors would just disappear depending on your
Like
speed.
your vision would be different.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there'd probably be a point in the middle where you'd still kind of see like I don't know, like green or something, but it'd be like dragging behind everything else.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So you'd still see like red everywhere, but you'd also see like a little bit of green, like fuzzy behind it or something like that.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was trying to like get out. But like, yeah, y'all summed it up pretty well. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool because I forget. It was I was watching another like space video, and like if the speed of light is the universe's speed limit, black holes have the ability. Well, black holes I think in certain cases are faster than the speed of light because gravity and light are like two different things. Like I'm pretty.
That's why it warps light around.
Yeah,
it.
it's like technically like the speed of light is one thing. Gravity is strong. Like it has a faster speed than light.
If light is not able to escape a black hole, then that means it has to be pulling something into it faster than the speed of light.
Yes, so gravity technically is stronger than the speed of light. I think that's like really because like at that point, wouldn't colors also? I mean, they say spaghettification. They say like you would just see this person like slowly because like the way the light would fade out, you would just see them get closer and closer.
Well,
infinitely,
something's gravity is not a constant. It's dependent on how much mass it has.
Well, I'm talking specifically for like black holes. Like,
but those are known to be like super dense, like a lot of mass.
Yeah. So I mean, even then, I guess like there are limits to like what we consider as fast. Like there's just like I mean that's really cool when you think about like there's just some things faster than the fastest thing that we use light years as a reference for distance, not even fucking like time. It's a measure of distance at how far light will travel in a year.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure like most like I think I forget I think it's like 20 light minutes or like no I think it's like 20 light years to, like the closest like survivable planet.
Yeah.
Or like no, 20 light hours to the nearest planet that is I think survivable for us. And then like I might be butchering that wrong, but I know there's a reference in space that is 20 light hours. And then when people ask you like okay how no okay that's what it was I'm sorry I'm messing this up. I think to like either the end of our solar system or to like the end of like one of the planets in our solar system is like 20 light hours. Let's just say like fucking Neptune. Like I don't know the exact one, so like take this with a grain of salt. But basically like how it's pitched with like speed of light and like how all these other things come together is like end of our solar system 20 light hours to the nearest. Let's just say habitable Earth is like 200 light years. And then when you really think it takes 200 years for the fastest thing in the known universe besides gravity to reach that destination. That means like when you turn on a flashlight, it takes 200 years for that flashlight beam to reach that target. Yeah. And then like then you go into the whole idea of like whenever you see a star, you're looking into the past. Like we're like that blows my fucking mind the more I do research on it, that everything we're seeing is probably maybe not there anymore. And like we're just seeing like it's just beaming its last visage of
for all we know, there could be some fucking like galactic shit flying around the universe that's already wiped out all of those stars. And it's literally just us.
Yeah. We wouldn't know
like space is just a void and we're the only thing here.
Dude, that's so fucking cool. Cause like I was thinking about like if you just looked back at Earth or any other planet that's like older than us, you would just see dinosaurs. Like that's so fucking cool to me.
Yep.
Like that is real time travel. If we can ever get to the point we can travel interdimensionally but still look at objects far away, we would have effectively created time travel.
It's not time travel, it's an illusion. Because you can't like go back in time.
It's observing.
It's an illusion.
Time. It's not an illusion. It's still observing time. It's not an illusion because you're still able to observe it. Like if you had a telescope powerful enough.
I'm saying it's an illusion in the sense that like that's not what's happening right now.
Currently.
Like it's playing a trick on you with your eyes. That's an illusion. Like that's not what's going on from a distance.
It's happening. If you go to like
it has happened.
Yeah.
But like in that part of the universe, that's happening now because that's all that's coming back to. You haven't seen the after. Like basically, you're looking at the dinosaurs as the dinosaurs are alive from like this planet.
You're not looking at them from as they were alive. You're looking at them from how long ever ago that was.
If you're already out that far in the universe, that's what you're seeing currently. Beams are like.
But that's not what's currently going on. That's what you see. It's an illusion.
But your perception is reality, though. Like that's
a philosophical thing. It's not like
it's still not
the logic I'm using.
It's still not an illusion, though. Like you could go on a telescope and look at it, and you'd be able to observe facts about dinosaurs and shit like that. Like you'd be able to actually observe a real dinosaur in the moment.
But not in real time, because
they could.
The time has passed.
If they had a powerful enough telescope, they could. That's what I'm saying. Like if you had a powerful enough telescope to zoom in on the Earth, they literally could look at dinosaurs and see them walking around.
But not in this current time.
Time is
they
relative.
could. That's what I'm saying. Like right now, they literally could do that if they wanted to. If they have a powerful enough telescope.
That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying like
they could not look at us right now, but they could look at the Earth and observe dinosaurs right now.
How it was back then, not how it is right now. That's why it's an illusion.
But that is what it is. That's the time for them, though. Because
it's not the time for them. They exist at the same exact fucking time as us. That's what I'm saying.
Like when we look at so when you look at a star, those stars are beaming light that's been traveling for hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, the star could not be there anymore. That's why I'm saying it's an illusion.
Technically, it could not be, but you're still observing that star as it is doing it, because all that
as it was back then.
You would still see it supernova. You would still see it like it go to a great. You would really observe
but not
everything
in
about
real
that
time.
Star.
Like that's not what it is right now.
But you can still observe it right now. It's just not going to match up with how it looks. But you
in
can still
reality, yes.
But you can still observe it and see actual facts about the thing.
That's why I'm saying it's an illusion, because it's not how it is.
Well,
right
it's not
now.
what an illusion is.
An illusion means it's not true.
Yeah, an illusion is fake.
That's happening. Illusion means it's like fake.
I'm saying it's fake in the sense that it's not right now. Like that's how it was in the past.
I mean, I guess in the sense that
You're using a fucking technicality against my argument.
If you call a photograph an illusion, then sure, I guess.
Yes, yeah, that is.
What the fuck? How is that an illusion? It's a picture of something.
It's not okay. So if I look at like,
Actually, what is a photograph an illusion? I'm a little lost on that one. Like, if you could explain, I'm trying.
I
to
guess it
understand.
is like if you're trying to look at like a picture from me 6 years ago, and it's like, oh, that's what Darren looks like. No, it's not. So it looked like 6 years ago.
Yeah, I don't think the aliens are
it's a
stupid
point
enough
in
to
time,
think that
I
looking at
guess.
it, they're thinking that we literally have dinosaurs on the planet right now.
I guess it's more just like a point in time instead of an illusion.
I mean, they might be. Maybe they got to that.
I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like-
They know when they're looking at it, they're looking at something in the past. It's not an illusion. They know they're looking at something in the past. It's not wrong. Like, it's not an illusion. They're
I
still
guess it would be
actually
more of a
observing
point
the
in
Earth.
time, like a
That's what I'm trying to
checkpoint
say.
in time.
Yeah, they're
checkpoint
looking
in
at
time.
a checkpoint in time. That's
Yeah.
not what's going on right now.
Yeah, I can see that. I can, yeah. But that's, I don't know. I mean, sorry to bring the space talk when we were talking about dimension. But, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's also kind of plays into it because, like, I mean, technically, you don't know what they could literally have, like, the knowledge of the universe just being, like,
Grandma's on
glass.
another world right
Exactly.
now.
She could literally just be, like, experiencing the universe and we would have no idea. Like, her mind has just been tapped into something else. Like, she's just looking at fucking stars billions and eons away from us. And all she just does is sit there
And
and
then
go,
she just like, it's like a snap, and all of a sudden she's like back in place. Like, oh, where am I? You know, that
is it
shit.
Tuesday?
Yeah. Yeah. It's lasagna day.
Lasagna day. Speaking of lasagna, I don't know. I was just gonna make up a Garfield thing, 'cause I know you don't like Garfield.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh, he's my favorite. Like, honestly, out of all my favorite like comic book strips,
How could Garfield of all things be your favorite?
I fucked with him more than Calvin and Hobbes. I just liked his dry humor. Like, dry humor is just fine to me, and it's
You didn't
just
talk
like,
about this on the Garfield episode.
I think we did, but I just
I
want
told him
to.
how much I hate Garfield.
He did talk about how much, but I don't know. He's such a cool guy. He's a really cool dude.
He's
just,
not.
I don't know.
He's a bum.
He's a cat.
He's a bum.
He's a cat.
His movie couldn't break even because he's a bum.
Yeah, bring up the movie. Yeah, say all that. He's a hard-working man.
He's not hardworking. His entire character is that he's not hardworking.
But like he works hard not to work hard.
He's lazy. He just sits there.
Lazy
and eats
people
lasagna.
are some of the most inventive and creative
No, they're
people
not.
to find ways to get out of the work. Yes, they are. Usually, there's a fucking
Garfield doesn't have to find ways
there's
to
a
get out of work because he
dogma-
doesn't
He doesn't
fucking
have a
work.
job.
there's a dogma of saying if you want a job done quick, find a lazy person. They'll get it done because they'll find shortcuts.
Okay,
they'll fi-
show me a time when John Arbuckle got
So why are
Garfield to mow
lazy
the
people
lawn.
unemployed?
Not all. I'm saying like a lazy attitude, not a lazy man's attitude, like a person who doesn't want to do.
You mean somebody who's efficient?
No.
I mean, like, I've seen that in the argument where like efficiency is laziness. Then like I guess,
Yeah, I guess if you're saying it like that, then yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with that.
but I would never hire a lazy person.
But they're lazy efficient,
No, they're efficient. I don't believe those are the same thing.
you know.
I've just heard that argument.
No, I mean that's fair. I'm not one to argue on the semantics of words and
Yeah.
perspectives, but I don't know. That was pretty fun. Y'all got anything else to add? What y'all? You got anything?
Not right now.
I don't think so.
All right. What can you tell me about cell rays, Alfonso? Come on.
I can tell you that it's the best damn app on the market right now, bro. There's so much.
It's hot right now.
Dude, we're moving. We have so much shit. And like, if we wanted to, how are we gonna get rid of this, bro? Like, I don't know. Like, is there a way to
Do you want to
conveniently
get rid of all this? Anyway.
We're literally moving the house we live in, and we got too much stuff to hold on to.
We do, so,
the
like-
best thing to do would be to sell it on sell raise. That'd probably be the
Yeah,
best.
I
yeah,
feel
like,
like-
you know, not moving into the next house. We can just buy new stuff at the new house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I
yeah.
mean, what's the point? You know what?
And when we move
If
to a
we
new
need
house,
extra cash for it, the money from sell raise is all we need right there. I mean, it's
literally
easy.
just buy, sell anywhere, anytime.
You can't buy. Just sell.
Sell anywhere.
It's so easy. Even your mom could do it.
That's what they say.
Even your mom. That is what they say. I've heard.
Wait, so if you can sell it, are the people not buying it? Or how
They
does
buy
that?
it on
Not on
different
Cellraise.
marketplaces.
Oh,
yeah,
so
because what Cellraise does, it's really cool. It takes every single marketplace you use, like Amazon, Walmart, eBay, Mercari, right? And then it links it to your Cellraise account.
Yeah.
And on the Cellraise account, this is how it works. You take a picture of like this can of beer. And then the AI they got recognizes it's a can of beer, and it comes up with a fair price and a good description for your can of beer. And then it uploads your can of beer to like all those platforms where you can buy, where other people can buy the stuff.
Right.
I see. And let's say I had 3 can of beers, right? It would automatically update the inventory. It's really, really intuitive, really cool. Less work for you. It's might I say, I guess, a lazy man's way out of managing 5 different platforms.
Wait, so are you telling me I could even sell alcohol even though I'm under the age of 21?
They don't allow that.
Yeah, no.
It was a bad example.
Shot down.
Yeah, you could find out at sellraze.com. That's SELLRAZE.com.
They have a great support system. So if you do want to find out if you can sell beer, you can just ask them and they'll tell you.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
They have a Discord that you can join.
I've heard the owners are pretty active on there too.
Very active.
I don't know.
And don't forget to check out the Scat Cast on Instagram and Spotify at
I know those guys.
scat.cast and scat.clips. And also on YouTube now at Scat Cast. We're making numbers, boys.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and I want to...
Let's call out some comments
Yeah, I'm
from
going to keep on. So for my most
the chat episode.
recent episode, we have Cassie Nick 2. Thank you for your comment. You shaved your head for $20 and other kids thought you had cancer. I wonder how she knew this information.
She might have listened to the episode.
Yeah, we did talk about it in the episode. To specify, I do not have cancer.
No,
okay?
no, you don't have cancer. You're a very healthy guy as far as we know. We need another episode with Will with no filter.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Thank you, Raj, for commenting.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you,
we
Raj,
need to get Will with no
BO4.
filter for sure.
We will definitely have to give no filter.
Were there any
We'll have
comments on the
some-
other episodes?
Different
Like the
Diddy.
Diddy bots?
Yeah. Watch out for the annoying evil Roombas and Walmart conveyor belts coming for you. Can't wait for the Scat Cast movie. Thank you once
Nice.
again, Cassie Nick 2. Because honestly, why don't we have a movie? I feel like we need to start talking to people. Like, if the Joker could get a movie and Megalopolis, like, we should have a movie.
Okay.
We could totally do a movie.
Let's make a movie.
We can start
Let's make a
pitching to
movie. Fuck
people.
it. Why not?
Let's
Yeah.
buy a room or rent a room at AMC because you can do that and just stream Scatcast episodes.
Oh my God, yes.
We have more than 24 episodes. We have enough to take up a whole day.
Yeah.
I think that's where we end it for today. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday as always.
Yeah.
Please drink water. That's very important.
Lots of it.
And tip your servers if they're good. I hold that out for if they're good or if you appreciate them or if you work in food service and you know how hell it is. Please have some compassion. That is my mission to everyone. Have some compassion for your common man. We all need it. And anything else to add, guys?
My mission for you is to say what you believe, even if it will hurt someone's feelings.
Based.
I just felt like that.
Based.
Even if you're just like outwardly racist as fuck.
I mean, I'd
Maybe, I
rather
don't
have
know.
someone be outwardly
I
racist
guess.
than
Outwardly
someone-
racist than like somebody who like tries to hide it because at least
Yeah.
you know then. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least you know who to like.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
guys.
Or whatever.
Goodbye.
Yeah, awesome, I guess. Oh, cool. Sick. Let's go.